I got a chance to watch your movie yesterday. It's really amazing. I had those moments where I started tearing up and crying in certain parts because I get really emotional when it comes to movies. And first of all, I want to know, like, if you guys were stuck in a house for your entire life, what would you do?
Netflix and chill.
I mean, I think I would do what Maddie does. She's like hella creative and does all kinds of different like art projects, and she builds architecture models and watches a lot of 80s movies. Probably do the same thing.
Yeah, there's no way I'd be creative as Maddie in doing that.
She's very creative.
Super creative. But yeah, I guess you just read and use your imagination. I mean, you gotta find a way to pass the time somehow.
Yeah, speaking of her imagination, it's really creative. And what was the importance of the astronaut that was always there with her, like as a counselor?
Yeah, I think the astronaut is kind of a symbol for her isolation. A kind of quirky symbol for it. You know, he shows up in the diner and he can't drink his milkshake because he's got a helmet on, and then she ends up pushing him off of the bedside table, like when things are kind of turning south. I don't want to reveal too much. But I think he's just a symbol for her isolation and feeling alone, feeling like she's floating through space. And she ends up kind of like letting that symbol go.
The interesting thing about Ali is out in the world, but he seemed like he was trapped just like Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
And would you say that Maddie was like his escape from his own world?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think that Ollie was just as closed off in a lot of ways as Maddie was, and if anything, Maddie was more open to the world, having never seen it, than Ollie was, having seen too much of it. So, yeah, I definitely think that Maddie kind of gave Ollie a fresh start.
So this movie is about first love, and in the 21st century, everyone texts and emails, and that's how, you know, we get to know each other. So when we all meet each other, it's that awkward. It's like super awkward.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever experienced that in real life, like in a movie?
Yeah. I think there's one time that I was like Facebook messaging this boy a lot, and we'd met like a couple times, and we were like, yeah, like we should go out, like, and we just talked, and finally when we hung out, you're kind of confronted with the reality of like we're actually two human beings, and as like seamless and quirky and funny and clever as we can make ourselves seem on the internet, like we're real. But it was really fun. It was cute, you know.
Yeah, I think it just builds up an anticipation when you're just when you're just talking back and forth without having to meet in person. You can really think out your responses and you know what you want to say. Mm-hmm. And then you meet in person, you're like, oh, I'm not actually this clever. I hope you don't think I'm supposed to be this clever.
Yeah.